Welcome back to our podcast, Powering Sustainability. My name is Pablo Rangel and I'm your host. Today I have a very special guest. She is an expert in sustainability and an ESG leader with over a decade with experience in the MENA region. Her name is Ghada Rahal. How are you, Ghada? Welcome.
I'm very good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good, thank you. So it's always good for me to have such a expert people in this subject because we're always happy to keep promoting awareness to sustainability. And the subject that we will talk today is very interesting for me and for all the audience because we will speak about humanizing the energy and how this works, how the sustainability works, what is the net zero. So, but first, I wanna know something about you because you have a lot of sustainability certificates and everything. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me today. It's such a pleasure to be part of a podcast that drives awareness in the energy and sustainability industry, and that's something we really need now. I'm an energy sustainability and ESG expert with over a decade of experience in the MENA region. However, I hold a lot of certifications. I have dual masters in energy studies and mechanical engineering. I have hands-on experience in the built environment spectrum. But the most important thing I lead with is that energy transition is human-centered, and that's why we are here today. I lead with the humanity because I believe that energy was never a technical problem. It's always a human one.
Yes, that's a key point that you say there because the tools are there, everything is there for applying it, but the thing is the will to do it. You know, and if I have the will to do it, knowing how to do it, and then have the energy to learn how to do it. So it's really the key point to speak. And sometimes, like you said before the podcast, is some truths that people doesn't want to talk about, but is necessary for because when I accept that I have a problem to solve, I can solve it and I can grow with it and then I can put solutions.
Beautifully said. And since we're starting with the uncomfortable truth, I'm famous for being the one who says things out loud. I've been over 10 years on the ground in leadership meetings, in board meetings. So I've seen both sides of these worlds. And that's why my job is bridging technical and business performance, where leadership are the decision makers. You don't see technical people taking decisions. And the one thing that I learned that became a fact for me, that the barrier was never a technical problem. Technology, as you mentioned, exists. Technical solutions are there. We are in the era of technical revolution, AI, and digitalization. I don't think there's anything for us hard to solve technically. But as per my experience, the barriers were almost always human. We're talking about communication, organization culture, leadership, and trust. And this is where everything starts. So when you lead with the business case, when you say out loud the problem, you'll be able to find the right solution and you will assign accountability to the right people.
How do you approach these key people or key persons in our office? And because what I learned is that when you go to a company and, for example, you're new to a company, you start to say your ideas. They take it back because they say we already been in the market for so many years, and a person is coming to say things that we should do the opposite. It's like a shock, you know. How do you deal with that? Because you need to be very strategic to say something and be accepted. You know. I don't know how you do it.
Resistance is there and it will be there. But Every sustainability leader needs to speak two languages, technical and business. So that's how you bridge the worlds. I'll give you an example. You know, we work in energy and sustainability, we set strategies, we set ambitious targets. But how do we get budgets approved? Because at the end of the day, if it stays as a document and just as a headline, we didn't do anything. We're not moving the needle even an inch towards decarbonization or those famous net zero strategies everyone is publishing now. You need to speak two languages. If you are budgeting or you are want to get a budget or approval for a retrofit, a simple example, if you want to speak an engineering language purely in front of a table full of CFO, CEO, risk compliance, procurement, and I come to you as an engineer to this meeting, I'll speak it in plain language. And I tell you, we have a retrofit initiative. I need to implement or install a VFD on a pump, for example. So as an engineer, a technical person, I would tell you, yes, installing a VFD on this pump will help me reduce if I reduce the pump speed by 80%, I'll end up consuming 50% less. That's affinity law, the famous affinity law. Every energy engineer knows. What did you understand? People full of finance, legal, procurement, CEO. No one will understand this language. But if I came to you and I told you, we'll do a retrofit installing VFD on pump, we will reduce our bills by half, we will do it across a portfolio. Payback period will be less than 2 years. No operations are disrupted. How do you take it?
Of course. Of course, the difference is how you say it, the approach of how you do it. And one point that you say there is important to know with who you're meeting with, because it's so good what you said that I cannot speak with an engineer language to someone that is a lawyer, for example. It's not possible. I'm an engineer also. Yes.
So we understand the same language. If we're having a technical internal meeting, we can speak pure engineering. The moment we step into a cross-functional meeting, especially when we discuss cost, risk, resilience, reputation, you need to speak business, performance. So that's where you get a competitive edge over your peers, and that's how you lead in sustainability.
Yes, and one of the ideas also that you said is that there is always, when you invest in the right way to sustainability, you will have better profits, you will have less costs, you will save in a lot of things, but that at the end is what the businessman wants. They say, why will I invest? What's the profit? If I put one, I want 3 back. But in sustainability, the first way is to plan what I will do, what are the strategies, how much this will cost, because always at the beginning is an investment.
Of course.
And then how I will apply it and how people will comply to the situations that we're putting for the company. And this is why things like the ones that you do are very important, because it's not just saying, I want to be sustainable, I will put a sticker.
Exactly, because now a lot of organizations treat sustainability and ESG as a headline, as a buzzword, and they only do these fancy reports. As Ghada, I always do impactful ESG programs and sustainability strategies. Strategies that I can actually action and implement. Because what people do not understand, when you set targets, you are setting scientific targets, like net zero. Net zero is not a simple word that as an organization, I can release my 2050 net zero strategy or my 2030 net zero target or etc. No, it's a scientific based target that's calculated, and that does not get solved. You do not reach zero by buying carbon credits or RECs or by offsetting, doing reforestation here or buying renewable energy there. No, net zero scientifically, you need to reduce and cut at least 90% of your emissions, GHG emissions, and the rest, residual, you remove them. And that's the key difference between carbon neutrality and net zero.
Yes, and now that you say emission part, how do you say to a company that, because if I have a company like this, for example, we are supplying, we are promoting that every house needs to have a bin and they need to collect their waste, segregate, but there's also parts that we generate emissions. How you approach a company like that to say this is how you need to measure and this is how you need to control it?
First of all, the region, our MENA region, is heading towards more regulatory, mandatory emissions reporting. And we started with UAE, climate law is now in effect. It's mandatory for organizations and sources to report at least their scope 1 and 2 emissions and voluntary scope 3 emissions, and to set a roadmap with clear reduction targets and clear progress and a plan how they are willing to decarbonize. So for any organization, regardless if you are a supplier, you are a service provider, you are an industry, real estate, you need to start with a baseline. This is your foundation, because you need to know where do you stand. You can't just start implementing initiative from here, initiative from there, reporting number here, number there, without having a benchmark. Imagine you want to lose weight. Anyone who wants to lose weight, the very first thing you do, you go on scale. You see, my current weight is this number, and you set milestones, right or not? It's as simple as that. So you need to build the baseline. It's the foundation. It's the most important step. And to do this, you need to collect verified, clean data. One of the most challenging phases of building a carbon inventory is getting verified data, because you need to collect, you have scope 1, which is all whatever you combust on site. It's your emissions that you combust on site. You're combusting diesel, gas for cooking, fugitive emissions, which are refrigerant leakages. If you are not able to measure these metrics, you will not be able to report your scope 1. And if you use estimates, just you're doing like this, hiding behind your finger, you know?
Yes.
For scope 2, it's your purchased energy, electricity, cooling, in this region mainly, you know? So you need to have proper logs, proper bills, proper metering logs, and you always need to compare your bills to your metering logs, because sometimes when the discrepancy is big, it means most probably your meters need calibration. There's some sort of mistake in the logs. So you need to always be on continuously monitoring, not wait, oh, every quarter I will report, or let me gather everything end of year just to do the report, because report is your last result. It's just publishing what you have achieved alongside the gaps equally, because in this report you need to show progress and gaps and how you are solving them. Same weight as achievements. And then scope 3, where 70 to 90%, even sometimes more in some industries, are your emissions. So if you're not calculating and measuring your scope 3 and putting reduction initiatives for scope 3 in your supply chain, don't tell me you have a net zero target.
As a starting point, then it needs to happen like an audit of
100%.
everything that is happening, how it's happening. But you know what I was thinking? This audit needs to happen in every company. But when you do an internal audit, you're always tempted to say, well, this doesn't need to be in the audit, or this, no, or this. Well, we can check it in the next one. So maybe with help of the governments or entities that does these kind of things, always to have a external audit so they can just say things without covering anything. This is good, this is wrong, this measurement is wrong, this you need to measure like this, you need these tools, you need to have these policies and implement, and you have 1 week, 2 weeks to implement and to change. So I think it needs to have this difference. You can always do an internal audit, and at the end, it won't be as accurate as an external audit would be. Let's say to you, okay, you have 3 targets to cover, and as you spoke, but these are the steps that you must follow to achieve them. So I think it's very important to have both ways. What do you think?
I partially agree. Why? Because sometimes not all organizations have the expert teams. When you are doing an audit for a decarbonization journey, you need to have energy experts, you need to have waste experts, you need to have sustainability experts, ESG experts that know all the frameworks. You need to operate on the E, on the S, and on the G. Because when we are talking decarbonization, and when we are talking, it's under the umbrella of the bigger sustainability and ESG strategy. But I want to ask you a question. Don't you think that even if you brought an external consultant to do this audit and help you set your foundation baseline to start building further, don't you think that awareness internally should be there so this external consultant or expert will not face resistance?
Yes, of course.
And budgets will be easier approved, and cost will be allocated properly to the material issues identified and the pain points and the gaps that need to be solved in this audit.
So it's a two-way effort. You're completely
100%.
It's a two-way
Yes.
effort, but it needs to be a conscious two-way effort, because I cannot just be a company, and this is the awareness that I want to generate for businesses. I cannot be a company that just want to be sustainable with low emissions and stuff just by name, just to say it, but because that doesn't make actually any difference in the world. And this is why we do the podcast, so they can see and agree that say, okay, this is a good idea. Generate awareness internal, prepare the team to receive, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, and you need to implement or invest in this so we can be more sustainable, so we can go to net zero. And I think that is the way. When it's the two ways, but in a conscious way of, I will do it because I want actually the company to have a change. And I think because we cannot have this reach with all the companies, or maybe one company will say, well, I don't have the time to invest. Then we need the support for the governments, for example.
Regulations.
Regulations from them, they will come and say, we give you the opportunity, we give you this, and if you don't comply, you will get fines, or your business will be stopped, or something like that, because there's people that wants, the business that wants and do freely, and that's easy to work with them. But there's companies also that say, I'm dealing with too much now, or I need to generate first more profit, then I will do it. And they never do it. So I think this is the two parts: company, out company, in company, and regulations.
And this gets back us to the human-centered approach. People or organizations who are now implementing ESG strategies are the ones that are moving towards more resilient futures, and they will be more visible in the market. Because now, when regulations are mandatory, like now, organizations who have been reporting and actually implementing these initiatives are ready and they are more resilient. But organizations who haven't been doing anything for the past years and now they want to do everything together, they will get overwhelmed. And the bigger problem is now organizations in recruitment are doing a mistake. They are hiring usually sustainability and ESG people for reporting only. And I always say it, you don't only hire for a report. You need to hire for action, for implementation, for someone monitoring these milestones in the roadmap, making sure who is accountable, making sure everyone is doing their job. Because at the end of the day, all of this will be solved when sustainability became the language departments operate in it. And what organizations do not understand that when you have ESG and sustainability strategy, it's not only reporting, it's business linked, it's business performance linked. Now, in most bids, you would see a request for an ESG score so you can be qualified to bid for this project. In the frameworks, you need to, now we're moving toward more climate risk assessments, both for physical and climate related risks, because we are the generation that are standing at the these crossroads. Whatever we are building now, people in 2050 and 2060 will be living in it, and they will be bearing with the consequences we built in this era. So it's very important to look for short-term milestones, medium-term milestones, and long-term. And the important thing is to invest in the proper talent, hire the right people, and make sure you have the proper governance and accountability structure, because the gap between sustainability being just a document or a buzzword or a heading, people love to use it, and this hits on my nerves sometimes when I see a lot of greenery and sustainability. Just people are publishing headlines left and right without backing up with science and fact. You need to properly work towards it. You need to hire for the people who actually can implement and action these strategies.
And there are experts now that can do it, and it's as you say, I can hire only for reporting, making a
Fancy cover.
yes, yes,
And definitely the branding has to be green. You know that I posted like 2 weeks back something about sustainability and green. I was saying that we chose only one color for sustainability branding, green. Though if you look at planet Earth, 71% of Earth is blue. Oceans and marine get the least funding. So we need to start looking, farther than our nose, as we say in Arabic, We need to look around us. If I did a green cover, if I wear green, or if I had a green logo, or I printed a green logo on my package or product, that doesn't mean I'm sustainable. If I only worked on the carbon part and I ignored all the environmental KPIs, that doesn't mean I'm fully decarbonizing or fully covering the ESG umbrella. Because remember, sustainability has 3 pillars, and they are 3 Ps: planet, people, and profit. And these three go hand in hand.
Yes, exactly. It's so funny what you said. Uh, I remember the first time I came to the office.
Yeah.
And I said, must do something because I always had it inside, that because these kind of things, you want to take care of the environment, do things, and there are things that are just inside, And I wanted to do the sustainability, and Neeraj remembers that the first time I forced, we will have a stamp. We will have a stamp. Power sustainability. It will be everywhere. But behind the stamp, there was only a design and nothing practical to actually do it.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we said no. If we can have these tools to first we need to put together very order the agency, the norms, the terms, the documents, everything. And now we need to do something to the people and we need to generate awareness to the people and what we can do. Let's do a podcast.
And this is how organization cultures get to shift. We need people like you who are aware. You started with a stamp, but then when you looked around, who am I fooling? You're fooling yourself before fooling other people. And this is the level of awareness we need in organizations. We need more people like you.
No, no, it's great what you said because if a business owner get to understand that, like you say, the trick is it will have profit.
Of course.
It will have profit, and someone that makes them understand, someone like you that says the things without any cover, and make them understand that you need to be sustainable and you will profit more in time of what you're currently doing.
100%.
There's a concept that I wanted people to understand that even for me has some mysteries yet, that is the net zero and how we take it to the real actions. Tell us a little bit about it.
So, net zero, we've been hearing this phrase everywhere. You go left, right. I sleep, it appears in my dreams, net zero. Everyone is using it, and a lot of people are using it wrongly. So, as I mentioned earlier, you have the science-based target initiatives, which is the standard behind net zero. Scientifically, net zero is you need to reduce your emissions in your supply chain value by more than 90%, at least 90%. And then whatever residual you have, you need to remove it. So it's more ambitious than the carbon neutrality governed by ISO 14068. So when we say net zero, it's scientifically backed up. You have targets calculated based on scientific methods. So you cannot just throw net zero into any sustainability report you have. And if you want to announce that you are committing to net zero target by 2050 or 2060, you need to start working on it now. Tomorrow you are late. And you need to set the proper reduction strategies, because when you commit to net zero, if you bought carbon credits or you bought renewable energy certificates, or if you planted trees somewhere else, that doesn't count into reducing. You need to reduce emissions in your supply chain. And then the residual, you need to remove it. So it's a very ambitious target. And people or organizations who want to commit to net zero, they really need to work hard on it and to hire the right talent and implement the right initiatives.
And this is something that it's very important because, as you said, it's not something you can lie about because it's very controllable by governments or by any entity that controls these emissions. But this is the question is how you teach these business owners and how you show them the whole process of you need to have these on your headlines. We are a company that, or in your mission that we 2030 we will be net zero. Uh, But how can you tell them the strategy or what they need to do so they accept and they because they can know once you said what it needs to what they need to do so it will take to net zero and they can say no, no it's too much. uh, how can you do it so they can do the next step?
This is exactly how I or any sustainability leader or expert should build actionable sustainability strategies. And you always start with the business case, because you don't only when you want to convince a CEO or a business leader to have a net zero target or to have sustainability targets, you need to always link them to business performance. So that's how you build your strategy. Your report will not, or end result will not be only I reduced emissions by X%, I reduced energy by X%. No, he needs to see, you need to link it to the business value. I'll give you a simple example. Your budget is hiding in your utility bills most of the time. So when you retrofit or introduce energy initiatives to reduce energy and to reduce, therefore, emissions in your operations, in your scope 1, scope 2 mainly, and sometimes scope 3 in your supply chain, you are reducing cost, you are reducing your energy bill, you are creating budget for other initiatives. Your payback periods are very low, less than 5 years most of the time, because you always build this matrix of impact versus cost. You build a roadmap, you start by building the initiatives that have low cost or zero capex initiatives with high impacts, and the medium term, the ones with medium capex, and then for later you can build the investment capex initiatives. But you will get the budget from whatever you saved. Exactly. When you did implemented these initiatives. So always build a business case.
It's a key point. You know, I was now you were saying all this. I was thinking that there's a company here in Dubai. I think they work in the whole UAE. That they change all your parking covers, and they change it for free. They change it for free to solar.
Okay.
And that energy they need it to a school that can be near or something like that, or even the energy for their company or a part to your company. And it's a way that a big way that you are showing that your company is actually saving in energy. So you are generating a budget to implement new things.
As long as this solar is going to the right load, is serving the right load, then you're doing an amazing job. Because in this region, organizations, you mentioned this point, this is very important. I always say it in this order: energy efficiency first, solar second. You need to, because a building with solar that is not energy efficient is a wasteful building. Solar in this case is just expensive waste. Imagine that you have a building and you didn't do energy efficiency initiatives, you didn't retrofit this building properly, and you built a huge sized, oversized solar for this building. Then came those actions, those initiatives, those strategies that need to be implemented. You retrofitted the building. You ended up having solar way more than you need. This is waste, expensive waste. So always lead with energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is like how we call it, the hidden soldier. You know, this black stallion that people usually overlook it, but it's a key lever in decarbonization. And you should always start with energy efficiency. The buildings we are living in now, most of them were built in the 1990s and early 2000s, right? And the buildings we are building now, people in 30, 20, 30, 50 years will be living in it. So actually, these old buildings now that were built in the 1990s and 2000 were far away from energy efficient. But I do not see it as a problem. I see it as an opportunity, business opportunity to retrofit. And you will make the market benefit. You will have energy performance contract, ESCOs, suppliers. You'll generate business and you end up saving costs, saving the environment, and reducing emissions.
And giving new life to an old building that maybe was not aiming to any of this.
Exactly.
So uh, again, it's this. That's why this subject is so important to be willing to know, because it's not only having the ideas. I want to be sustainable and go to the moon and plant something. No, you need to know why, what it involves, what you will invest, what documents you need, what studies.
Who will be responsible? I always say, because usually until now you see sustainability and ESG targets and talks happen at the leadership executive level. It's not enough. In every department, you need to have the sustainability champion. Procurement, legal, finance, engineering, operations, facility management. All of these needs to have someone who's driving sustainability. And then day by day, sustainability will be the language everyone speaks. And most important, you need to make it relatable to people. I didn't get into the energy industry just to read kilowatt hours or read energy meters or analyze data all the time. No, I got into energy because I work in the built environment. I spent all my time, mostly 90% of my time, in buildings. So I start with comfort, air quality, cost, customer experience, building user experience. We live in these buildings. People use these buildings. And they are not all engineers. They are not all sustainability experts. They are not all aware. So it's our job to share awareness, but on the same at the same time, make sustainability relatable to people. So instead of saying energy efficiency with an audience who's not technical, use building health. You can address people. Don't you want to be comfortable? Don't you want to have accessibility? Don't you want to breathe fresh air? Why shall I go ventilation, ASHRAE standards, retrofit, deep retrofit, energy audit? No need to use these words with these people. Building health. They will relate to it. I want you to be comfortable. Let me do my job. You will not feel anything. Everything will be happening behind the scenes, because sustainability and comfort, they go hand in hand, and well-being of people, definitely, which is very important for me. And that's why we keep getting back to a human-centered approach. It's my North Star, humanizing energy.
Yes, it's so important. And this not only goes to the people that doesn't have any knowledge of this, but to the people that is teaching this to humanize themselves, to say not everyone understands you and not everyone gets what you're saying. So say it in, I would say, Spanish.
Yeah.
Say it in Spanish.
Say it in any language, the person in front you understands it. And that's how a successful sustainability and ESG and energy leader, but if we can say it sustainability leader since it's the broader umbrella, bridge these gaps.
Yeah, I will tell you something about my past. It reminds me of all this. I had a teacher in the university, a professor.
Mm.
He was the calculus. professor.
Oh, okay, nice.
Always complicated people. I don't know why. And he always had a phrase. He said, "Why we will make things simple if we can make them harder." You know, I was like, oh, that's the opposite of what I want because calculus is so hard. So it's deep mathematics and stuff. But that was his phrase, and if you turn it to this reality, there's a lot of people just like that. They use difficult terms, difficult ways to explain, and you go to a business and say X, Y, Z and terms, and the business owner will say, okay, it sounds difficult.
I'm scared.
I think you're giving me with belt. It's bad. But what you do and how you say it, it's very important. And I hope you reach millions of companies because it's so great what you're doing. Because we need to humanize people to understand that this is reachable. You can have a normal conversation and then you will understand it. And when you understand something, then you want to do it. And then you want to implement. And then you lose the fear of giving that step.
Yes. Yes, I beautifully said. I totally agree with you. And I loved the example you gave about your professor because these people are in every organization. And when people usually ask me, what do you do? Sometimes in a, over a coffee conversation or a natural just chit chat, some people like, Ghada, what do you do? And I have it in my headline on LinkedIn. I always tell them I turn decarbonization and net zero strategies into action, and I simplify energy engineering into business decisions. I believe these two sentences exactly, like I don't need to say any more about my experience, my background. They just exactly summarize what my job is.
And you can tell when a person is very passionate about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So these are subjects that we can speak long.
Yes.
But it's so amazing to have you here. I want to thank you for being here. For me, I'm very honored to have people that moves you back from the clouds that you may be and say there's a lot of sustainability sounds great, but there's a lot of work to do.
Yes.
There's a lot of steps to take. So we need you, and we need more people like you to actually, because UAE has now changed. I think the aims for sustainability to 2027. I think.
You have milestones for 2027, 2030, then 2035, 2050, and this is very important because, as you mentioned, I want to reach not the clouds, even the moon.
Yeah.
But let me start on Earth first.
Yes.
Let me start with do I have, and I build step by step. And a sustainability journey does not happen overnight, but you can start now building it.
And there's a very important thing that, as you mentioned before, everyone in the organization must be involved.
Of course.
And then, for example, someone from accounting can say, no, but my work has nothing to do with it. Not every idea is valid. If I can stop printing a report that is normally printed, and I can do it digitally, full digital, then accountants is also doing their part. It's every area, from the warehouse, from the manufacturer, and the management. Everyone it's open.
And it starts at your own house, by the way. I come from a very small town in the inland of Lebanon. And Lebanon is a country that has a major energy crisis. So we don't have grid access. Zero grid access to the town I come from originally. So what we did, we had a solar over the top. We fully operated our house by solar. And my mother is the chief energy engineer of the house. She now knows how to operate sustainably the appliances, the equipment. Even if we want to buy a new appliance, she automatically knows that it needs to be energy efficient, certain rating, how to schedule the use of appliances, because we're solely depending on solar. So when you have this is built in the individuals inside your home, this will reflect to the community and then to the city, then to the nation, to the region, to the globe. So that's the importance of education, awareness, and investing in the younger generation. We always say teach them young.
Yes, it's they will get to a future that we build, but they will do their own build their own future, and it's all if they have the education from home, from the school, from university, then they can implement everything.
Beautifully said, yeah.
It's very important, and to know that you said something that calls my attention, that most of people don't know that there's certain schedules that you consume more energy than others, and do things like I will wash the clothes at certain hours.
For example, or switch off the light when you're not using it. As simple as this.
Yeah, it's small details that people doesn't even think about it. You know, I just go to my house, I live in my house, I switch everything whenever it is. There's something that I do at home, for example, is if I'm in the room, the AC is on, of course, but in nowhere else.
Yes, yes. I always like if I'm outside, I always switch off the lights. If it's daylight and the light is fine, I don't need to switch off. If I'm not using the equipment, phantom loads, the sockets, I turn them off because we call them phantom loads. You will be consuming electricity without even turning them on. So these small things, these are the ones I talked about in the matrix of low cost or non-cost in this case. You're not paying anything if you turned off the light, but you're having high impact on your
Yes, a little bit.
energy bill.
Yes, it's amazing. It was fantastic to
Thank
have
you
you
so
here.
much.
And I don't ever want the podcast to end because I'm always digging deep, and we can go. But it would not be the last time we have you. I enjoy it so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be here, and really, this is a great initiatives you guys are doing.
We will reach the whole world. Thank you. Thank you very much, and you're welcome
you.
all the time.